Hey everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Gramps Recommends, the show that highlights some of the best designed and executed games available today. Let's get started. I've been playing first-person shooters since Wolf 3D arrived in '92, and versus shooters since Doom in '93. I tried to count all the shooters I've played between now and then, but I ran out of fingers and toes and just threw up my hands in frustration. So there's this game called Team Fortress 2. It's fucking amazing. It's made by Valve, developer of mega hits Portal and Half-Life. Seems to me these guys did their homework, then built a multiplayer shooter which both innovates on what's been working and answers the most common issues in the genre. It's got great class variety, well-designed levels, lots of game modes, a mind-blowing pile of unlockables, gameplay-focused visuals, solid balance, and it's free. Weapons! The guys at Valve have taken all the coolest weapons from other games in the genre and stuffed them right into TF2. Other games like Halo and Quake have you running around looking for the good stuff, only to take it away again when you die. Battlefield and Call of Duty might spawn you with the good stuff like grenade launchers and rockets, but with little ammo and long reload times. In TF2, every class gets a primary weapon which would be totally overpowered in any other game. Just imagine having a rocket launcher 100% of the time, or arming yourself with a rapid-fire sticky grenade launcher every time you respawn. That is the TF2 experience. Classes. In class-based shooters like Battlefield or PlanetSide, the difference between one class and the next is usually minor. A slightly different primary weapon and a unique ability like healing teammates or repairing vehicles. This means that overall, classes play relatively similar. In TF2, each class has an entirely different primary weapon or ability, plus variations on movement abilities, defensive maneuvers, and unique skills like turning invisible or building sentry guns. That's a big win for replay value.
You are all weak! You are all bleeders!
This powerhouse class plays like a slow-motion Quake Arena. He packs a rocket launcher as his primary weapon, and makes up for his slowish movement speed with extra health and unmatched vertical mobility. Rocket jumps surprise opponents and get the soldier access to perches and map shortcuts, which are unavailable to all other classes. Soldiers are often on the front lines and in the action, shrugging off damage and blasting opponents into showers of body parts.
I'm a freaking blur here!
The Scout is the master of speed, acrobatics, and surprise. He runs crazy fast, and his double jumps have him soaring over obstacles and opponents alike. When played well, this guy maneuvers behind the enemy, blasts away with his shotgun, then disappears again before his target can retaliate. He's also got a baseball bat and an energy drink that caffeinates him to the point that he can dodge bullets for a few seconds. Man, I love the Pyro. Nothing draws weapons fire like a guy running around with a flamethrower. He's not particularly fast, so getting in close to make effective use of the flamethrower can be a challenge, but nobody beats this guy in close quarters, even against multiple opponents. Even when the Pyro does go down, his flames continue to do damage to nearby opponents until they die out or are put out by water. He can also release a blast of compressed air from his weapon to push opponents away or deflect rockets and grenades.
You're all bloody dead!
In most shooters, every class gets a grenade or two per respawn. In TF2, only the Demoman gets grenades, but he gets all the grenades. His primary weapon fires only standard grenades, and his secondary weapon fires only sticky grenades. Both of these hold mini grenades per clip. The standard grenades explode on contact with players and can bounce around corners to surprise enemies. The sticky grenades explode on command, so you can deploy several at once for instant kills, wide area damage, or even both.
I'm coming for you!
The slow-moving heavy carries a huge gun and can tank serious damage. Even when caught by surprise, he often wins the fight. After a brief spin-up, he fires his Gatling gun non-stop while moving very slowly, never having to stop for a reload until he's entirely out of ammunition. When supported by a medic constantly healing him, it takes a spy, a sniper, or a well-coordinated group of other classes to take him down. When he does get hurt, he can duck behind cover and nom a sandwich to reveal much of his lost health.
I built that.
Champion of the creative player, engineers strategically deploy sentry guns, teleporters, and dispensers for health and ammo to the battlefield. A well-placed sentry gun can easily stall or halt a heavy assault or protect other constructions. Dispensers keep teammates on the front lines to maintain pressure, and provide engineers with the metal they need to repair and upgrade other constructions. And finally, teleporters reduce travel time from the respawn point to the action, and can influence the route your team takes toward the objective. Whether attacking or defending, any team without at least one engineer has a major disadvantage.
Whoops! That was not medicine!
Unlike other shooters where medics toss aid packs at teammates and or click them to resurrect, medics in TF2 focus on healing over time. The medic's primary job involves a Ghostbusters-style curving beam which can lock onto a friendly teammate to heal while giving the medic some freedom of movement to seek cover. To encourage medics to focus on healing over combat, they can also overheal teammates to an extent to push past their default max health, and also charge up for a short burst of invulnerability, making healing a teammate who is already at full health still useful. The latter Uber Charge ability really shines in the metagame because it breaks stalemate situations by giving players the short boost they need to break through entrenched defenses and start making progress again.
I'm gonna turn you into colored rain!
Overall, the sniper feels much like it does in other shooters. You find a good vantage point, then use a scope to get the headshots. TF2 varies the class experience just a little. First, your next shot becomes more powerful the longer you stay sighted, encouraging you to stand your ground. Second, if you're looking for more action, there's an unlockable bow weapon for faster sighting and reloading with less magnification so you can jump directly into the fray. Finally, your laser sight is visible where you aim it, so there's some strategy involved in how you set up your shots for maximum kills.
Peekaboo.
I really like what Valve has done with their spy class. In most shooters which have a spy class like the Enemy Territory series or Battlefield 2142, spies start out sneaky, but fight more or less like other classes when their cover is blown. TF2's spy gets more gadgets for enhanced sneaking and must depend on them because his pistol doesn't pack enough punch for a head-to-head matchup. He can turn briefly invisible while moving, and can also dress up as any enemy player on demand. If his routing and acting are convincing, these moves put him behind enemy lines where he can backstab unsuspecting opponents and sabotage engineer constructions to great effect. A great spy incites paranoia, making himself an effective distraction even when he's far away. Game modes! So many game modes and so many maps. TF2's 10 official game modes list includes Capture Point, Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, Arena Deathmatch, Escort, and Escort Race, just to name some of them. Plus, maps are only enabled for game modes which work well with the map's layout, so you always get a great experience with both official maps and popular community maps. Plus, there are more than 2,000 public servers, so you can always find a low latency opportunity to play your favorite map or your favorite game mode. TF2 even includes a cooperative mode, where waves of bots, which have classes just like players do, try to carry a bomb to your team's base. Also included are extra large, extra strong mini-boss bots, sentry-busting bombs on legs, and armored, bomb-deploying tanks. With plenty of unique maps across several difficulty levels, it's the perfect break from the pressure of competitive play, and a good supplement to provided class-specific training exercises for new players. Unlockables. TF2 does unlockables right. When you get a new toy and equip it, it actually changes the way you play the game while maintaining balance, rather than just tweaking some minor stats like reload time and rounds per clip as Call of Duty does, or giving long-time players a significant advantage over new players. Each unlockable item has both an upside and a downside, so the overall utility and power level remain the same, but players get an opportunity to enjoy something really new. Example 1. Consider the soldier's direct hit unlockable rocket launcher. Its increased rocket speed makes hitting your target much easier, but you lose splash damage, so now you have to be more accurate. When switching to the direct hit from the default launcher, the way you play the soldier significantly changes. Instead of firing at feet and trusting the fudge factor, you conserve your ammo and aim more carefully for center of mass. The bonus damage against airborne targets rewards you for additionally keeping an eye to the sky so you can dominate rocket jumping soldiers and speedy scouts. Example B. Snipers have an option to trade their handgun for a back-protecting shield which shocks spies when they try to backstab. This adjustment gives a sniper peace of mind and relief from paranoia, but when a fight does break out, his only viable option is a melee weapon. Ejemplo 3. Engineers who don't like babysitting major installations may trade their default upgradable turret for another model, which builds incredibly fast and doesn't require as much metal to construct, but doesn't upgrade. This allows the engineers to play more aggressively, charging into battle, tossing sentries down on a whim, and quickly replacing them when they're destroyed. Respawns. Call of Duty, PlanetSide, Battlefield, Halo. They've all got one problem in common: getting murdered right after you respawn. Nothing pisses me off more than having to wait for the respawn timer several times in a row just because some game developers don't take the time to really think about this central game mechanic. TF2 respawns players in a truly safe room with an automatic door that snaps shut to block weapons fire when friendly players aren't using it. Even when the door is open, enemy players can't physically enter the spawn area, and in case they do damage by firing while the door is open, there's also instant health and ammo refill stations inside the room. Together, these factors make spawn camping so difficult that it just isn't worth the time to try. Visuals. TF2 doesn't look realistic, but it manages to be very playable while also looking good, if cartoony. The variety in class models makes strategic decisions possible because you can tell what you're getting into before you're into it. The mixture of lights and darks in player outfits ensures that players always stand out against the background, which can be a major frustration in realistic looking games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Finally, no killing blow satisfies me like a shower of body parts. Did I mention that this game is free? And by free, I don't mean in the free-to-play sense that's trending today. Absolutely 100% of the gameplay changing unlockables are obtainable through random drops and crafting. All classes and game modes are available to all players, and there are no limits on playtime. Further, paying players don't have any in-game advantages over unpaid accounts. You can't beat this value anywhere in gaming. If you play this game and love it as I do, I hope you'll consider buying some hats from the shop just to thank Valve. I think they deserve that, and a lot more. Ratings! Valve has done so much in this game that felt really fresh to me. Major differences between classes, a visual style which prioritizes playability while still looking good, an effective solution to spawn camping, and combat that lasts longer than a couple of finger-twitching seconds. For innovation, I give 4.5 black and white pixelated dinosaurs. There's not a lot to complain about in TF2, at least not now that the game has been refined over several years. A lack of built-in team balancing makes some rounds boring, but it's easy to switch to another server. Similarly, limits to number of players playing support classes would also be a good improvement. And better server mod support would allow the community to innovate and mitigate problems. But all these are small issues. I give TF2 4 black and white pixelated dinosaurs for execution. And finally, with 9 classes, more than 150 gameplay altering unlockables, and 10 game modes, this free game has more content than nearly all pay games I've played. Plus, Valve is still updating the game to add new game modes and unlockables even now, years after its initial release. Even though I've been playing one shooter after another for 20 years, I've personally played a staggering 440 hours in this game. For longevity, I give 5 black and white pixelated dinosaurs. You gotta play this game. If you enjoy competitive shooters like Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield, Half-Life, and Unreal Tournament but have never tried Team Fortress, you're really missing out on a lot of totally free fun. Do yourself a favor and give this game a try. Thanks for watching episode 1 of Gamer Gramps Recommends. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss a single episode. Oh yeah, shortcut. Oh no. Oh, motherfucker.